Let me start with a simple example. Imagine a rowing boat. One boat, two people, but one person is rowing in this direction and the other person is rowing in a different direction. And that's exactly how most India plus West hybrid teams look like today. Not because the people are incompetent and not because the intentions are bad, but because no one tells them how to row together in same direction. On paper, hybrid teams look perfect. Talent in India, vision in West, cost efficiency, time zone advantage. But in reality, something quietly breaks. Emails feel cold, calls feel rushed, decisions feel slow, and ownership feels missing. And slowly, trust leaks out. Not because of conflict, but because of distance without connection. Let me tell you the hard truth. Trust does not come from contracts. It does not even come from daily stand ups. And it definitely does not come from using better tools. Trust comes how humans treat each other when things go wrong. And in hybrid teams, problems gonna happen. A missed detail, a wrong assumption, a quiet delay, an uncomfortable silence. And in those moments, teams watch you, not to see who is right, but to see how you behave. Do you blame? Or do you disappear? Or do you lean in and fix it together? And that response, more than any process, decides whether your team owns the work or just follows the instructions. Let me try to illustrate this with a real kind of pattern. There is one team A. A problem occurred, and a Western founder says that why this was not caught earlier. And the Indian team hears that you failed. What would happen? They would stop taking risks. They would wait for instructions until doing something. And they would not build the courage to own the decisions. In such cases, teams survive but never grows. Whereas there is team B, same problem but different response. A founder says that let's try to understand what we missed and let's adjust together. What would happen? Teams can build the courage to speak up. They flag the risks earlier and they would start thinking like owners. Nothing changed technically, but everything changed emotionally. Hybrid teams fail when leadership tries to manage remotely instead of lead visibly. Here is what builds trust: context, not commands, clarity, not control, and consistency, not pressure. People don't need micromanagement, but they need predictability. When leaders show up the same way every time, that is calm, clear, and respectful, then distance stops feeling dangerous. Many leaders believe that Indian teams should adapt to Western culture, but that is incomplete. Strong hybrid teams don't import culture, but they co create culture. They agree on how feedback is given, how mistakes are handled, how decisions are made, how ownership is rewarded. Culture is simply what happens here when no one is watching. Indian teams don't lack skills, but they often lack is a permission to challenge ideas, a permission to say that this will not work, a permission to take responsibility without fear. When leaders create psychological safety, then Indian teams don't just deliver tasks, they deliver thinking. And that is when a hybrid team becomes powerful. At Acquaint Softtech, we have seen these firsthand. The teams that succeed are not the one with the fanciest tools or the longest contracts, but they are the one where expectations are human, the leadership is present, and ownership is encouraged, not demanded. We help structure the team so that the trust grows before pressure arrives, not after the damage is done. A hybrid team is not about geography, but it's about an alignment. When people feel respected, informed, and trusted, then distance becomes irrelevant. And when leaders build bridges instead of barriers, then India plus West team stops being a split, but it becomes a shared journey together.